We'll build this together, any type of weather. Unity is key. Keeping first G-O-D. We will conquer the world. Baby, just you and me. I can vision us now. One big happy family.
Hi, I'm Latoya Walker.
And I'm Lonnie Walker. We at the Way of the Walkers.
That's right.
What's up?
What's up, y'all? Today is our first time to have guests. Yeah. It's our favorite couple, our best friends
in the whole wide world.
In the whole wide world.
In the whole wide world.
Mm-hmm.
Billy and Tera Johnson.
So today we have with us my bad boy for life partner.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
So yeah, for sure. We got Billy and Tera Johnson on here, CEOs of Right Marriage.
That's right.
Come on, Right Marriages.
How are y'all today? Good morning.
Man, listen, good morning. Good morning.
Good
man.
morning, gorgeous.
Y'all shining over there. Y'all looking good. I'm loving this setup, man. This is so dope.
Thank you.
Man, I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of y'all for stepping out like this. You know what I'm saying? Inspiring me, inspiring us. Like my boy Lonnie said, hey, we bad boys for life.
For
you
sure.
know what I'm saying? That sits over there. So,
Yes.
you know, I'm loving it, man. I'm just glad to be here. Thank y'all so much for
Absolutely.
inviting us and for having us.
Definitely right on with him. Just excited to be here with you guys. Excited to share in marriage and what God is doing and how he's doing it. So I'm just super excited about just the movements of the hand of God and, you know, what he's going to do
with
today.
us.
Yeah, I'm just excited. I'm just like, I feel like this is a win. This is
Yeah.
like a big time win for
And
y'all.
you're looking
Thank
cute over
you.
there, by
Thank
the way.
you.
As always, that's my boo over there.
The little bit, little razzle dazzle.
Okay.
Look, we already know how I feel about her. We did a whole
Lit.
episode about that.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna go into that.
Cause she fine, baby. She fine.
I'm gonna just say she juicy.
Yeah.
Listen,
Listen, that's Michael High over there. He's too
Yeah,
smooth.
macaroni.
Yeah.
So listen, let's talk about
Right marriage, right?
Right Marriage.
Yeah.
What y'all got going on with Right Marriage? What is Right Marriage?
Okay. Right Marriages, man. We founded it together, 2018. The desire to just pour into marriages, share our story, share what we have learned along the way. Of course, we've been together. Not of course, because everybody doesn't know, but we've been together since 2003.
Come on,
Married
get
in
it together. Don't
2007.
mess up.
But we got a lot of numbers. After 20
is a
years,
lot
you
of
get a lot of
numbers.
numbers.
It is a lot
But
of
basically,
numbers.
Right Marriages is restoring, igniting, growing, honoring, and treasuring your relationship.
That's right. And so basically what we wanted to do was just create a space for marriages, not just marriages, but all relationships, to show them the way that we're supposed to handle each other. Like kind of like you guys are doing with the Way of the Walkers. The Right Marriage model basically exemplifies how we should be relating to one another as spouses, as friends, as partners, as business associates. It just gives a guideline, according to scripture, of course, on what that looks like practically. I think so many people have so much jargon about what marriage should be, or when they use scripture, that no one ever really puts practical things into place. And so the Right Marriage model kind of it's a guide on how to do practical things for one another and to just be able to get right.
Get right. Just like
right.
the acronym is right. You know what I mean? So
I really appreciate how you laid that out, because as you said, there's so much out there talking about marriage, but there's nothing that's really tangible, practical, that you can really implement right away in your marriage. And your model is going to do that. So really excited to see what y'all do with that. I know y'all are writing a book about it. Y'all are going to have podcasts probably, right?
For sure.
Definitely.
Podcasts coming. For right now, people can go follow our page, Right Marriages, on Instagram. But for sure, what we want to do is go ahead and launch our conference for it. Because right now you have a lot of conferences out there. You have XO and things of that nature that don't really cater to the dynamic of the culture that we're in. And so what we hope to do is provide another level, another segmentation of culture for the marriage, for people that are not necessarily XO-ish. Not that XO is bad. I love XO, but you know, just something different. There's all types of marriages, right? And so I think being able to cater to all types of marriages in a setting that's comfortable for everybody, I think it's
Right.
just going to give us a different dynamic.
Yeah, I love that.
Listen, it's gonna be big, y'all. What we heard was if it doesn't raise your eyebrows, then it's not big enough, right?
Mm,
So when I think about us
For
trying
sure.
to create something for a whole culture,
mm,
it raises my eyebrows. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, we have this idea, we have this vision, but like, can we really impact the world and the culture in that way? You know what I mean?
The
Right.
answer is
And
absolutely. yes.
you know,
absolutely.
so I'm excited, man. Nervous too. You know what I mean? But it's gonna be dope when it all comes to it. When it's laid out and when it manifests.
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be beautiful.
generational.
And of course,
Yeah.
everybody who's subscribed to Way of the Walkers is going to get a discount code because
There you
just cause,
Yeah.
you know.
That means you need to subscribe to Way of the Walker.
Correct.
Absolutely. Y'all better
So-
be subscribed out there.
That's right.
So
Find out
it's
y'all
going
ain't
to be huge, but that's why you have the fear because once it explodes, once it goes.
Yeah.
All these other things are going viral. It would be nice. It would be great if right marriage and doing marriage correctly goes viral.
Absolutely.
Because it's a lot of us married and we're not necessarily doing it right.
That's right.
Not necessarily.
But
Yeah.
the thing that I wanted to bring up is how we met you guys. And I just remember being in a marriage group and seeing you guys, because you guys were like the assistants to the people who were leading it, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Kind of,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I love them. I didn't even like know your names.
Yeah.
Our hearts were just like, who are they? And y'all have just been our couple since then. You know, the couple that you can hang out with. Like, we go over to y'all's house, we watch our shows together, eat,
man,
laugh.
I'm looking for another episode
Right.
of Married at First Sight. I'm like, they taking too long because we got to get the
We
walkers
need to
back
get
over here.
on. Right. We've traveled together. We just y'all are just
Yes.
our people. And your relationship has been wonderful. So how did you guys meet? What drew you guys to each other?
That's me and Tara.
Yes.
Yeah. Not us.
I thought we was going to talk about how we met each other. Now this
Okay,
right
like-
here.
so
We
Boy,
ahead,
so
go ahead.
the
I
good
walked- I
version
walked
or you
out
want
there.
Billy's version?
I walked out there. No, the truth. I walked out there. I had the ice cream Snicker. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know where we was getting ready to go, but we was gonna go hang out with some of my cousins and family. And she was with my cousin. They were friends. I had
We were
met her.
co-workers.
They were co-workers.
Mm.
As we advanced in relationship, we realized there wasn't.
We
a
have
friendship.
emotional intelligence now.
Yeah, we
Okay.
got
Relational intelligence.
and emotional
Yeah,
intelligence. So back then they were friends. Now they was just coworkers. But we met. So she was hanging with her, and that's how we met. My cousin was trying to hook me up with one of her friends.
Mhm.
Her friends was
A different coworker.
was dating, and so she was like, "Well, I'm in a relationship." I was like, "Cool. I ain't trying to mess that up. We can be friends." And because I didn't know her anyway. That was just a plot. But when I saw her, I was like,
Uh-oh.
I ain't trying to get deep and wonderful.
He's
but
always
I
deep and wonderful.
heard
He is
and
always
I
deep and
felt
wonderful.
that she is the one. And so that's when I said, "Hey, look, you are beautiful. And I just don't want to go off of looks, but I want to get to know you. Because I wanted this to be done right." Y'all see what I did right there? I wanted this to be done. I want this to be done right. And looks, that's always what people go for. And I
Because I'm
admit,
cute, pretty cute.
and I admitted to the looks because they were there and they still are. She's beautiful. So I was like, I see your looks. You are beautiful, but I want to really get to know you and see if we can really be something. And we went from there. But that's my perspective.
Now, here's the real version of the
Oh,
story.
it's all
guys.
real.
Well, it's pretty accurate, I guess,
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit. But I think more so, I'm not even gonna lie, I was in lust. I'm gonna be honest. So I
Hey,
was
ain't
dating
nothing wrong with a
somebody. I
little
was dating
lust.
somebody at the time.
Mhm, keep it going.
And mind you, we're in high school. I'm in high school at the
Right.
time when we meet.
Yeah.
I'm dating somebody, and I just see him.
But it wasn't me though.
That's all. I just saw him, and I was like, God, no, that brother, because I had never been attracted to somebody that was African American in real life. I know.
What that mean?
Let me tell you something.
She had these celebrity
cut out on
crushes.
some people.
She had celebrity crushes.
Yeah,
I think
maybe
that's what-
celebrity
said in
crushes
real
and then
life.
different other nationalities. And so when I saw him, I was like, okay, this is bananas. And so what I did, because I didn't have a cell phone back then, because that's how old I am, right? Dialed on the phone. I was like, say, cuz we can't be together no more because there's this other dude. He real fine and I'm interested. So I'll talk to you about it at school on Monday. Click.
Wow.
Yeah, I did that because I was very, like, that's how I was. I just wasn't.
It didn't have nothing to do with my ice cream Snickers, right?
It definitely did because I was greedy. And so
every year on April the 11th, which is the day that all this happened, we get ice cream Snickers.
yeah, because that's another thing. So
Because you had an ice cream Snicker.
he had one.
And she was like,
Give me
Give me a
bite
piece of
that.
that.
right.
And he did. So I was like, I
Yeah.
can marry him.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? It don't take a lot. It's pretty easy,
Yeah.
you know? But I'm not going to lie. I wasn't interested in getting to know him more. I'm just trying to, I was just lusting. He was fine, y'all. He still is fine. Look at him.
Amen.
Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
We
Look at
don't,
the teeth.
we
Got
don't
some
want to
nice
run the
teeth.
kids
Hey,
off
hey,
of our
hey,
podcast.
Look at him.
You know,
He almondy. He real almondy.
almondy.
All right, cut it out.
Okay.
We making
We're
Brother
back.
Lonnie
We're back.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, y'all went so,
Okay.
Welcome back. We're gonna edit that out for the children. Well, I don't remember everything of how we met. It was just instant. When I talked to Billy, it was almost like I knew him forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just from there, everything just. And then when my wife, like your wife, then it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Because that's rare, right?
Yeah.
I'll
It's
just
rare
so-
when you have a couple that you're
like both
click.
of the people?
Like, right.
Like it's
Bro,
across
like,
across
little
both.
me.
Yeah.
And like, not that. Well, first of all, I'll just put it out there, and the people know I can be difficult. I can be difficult. So first of all, having someone like me is one thing, and then having somebody in your space with your wife is a whole nother thing.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
we really protective because we like besties. So we don't want just anybody in our sphere.
For sure.
So it's kind of like Billy cool, and then I was like, Tera cool too. And then for her to come back and be like, yeah, me too. And then it was just done from there.
I think I remember one of my I think I know that Latoya remember this. One of my favorite moments of y'all just watching y'all two interact. Do you remember we were at someone's house,
So y'all be
and
watching
there was a
this.
party, and these two were sitting Indian style on the floor.
Yes.
Just like talking. I don't even know what y'all was talking about.
I have a picture of it.
remember
You
that.
have
I
a
have to send
picture
it
of
to
that? Oh my
you.
God. I was just like, this is cool because I know Billy, he's not Billy's talkative, but only the people he's comfortable with. And so
Right.
to see him just relating like that, I was
Thank
just
you.
like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
to see him just relating like that was just really, like, he talks my ear off all the time, but Lord Jesus. But to see him doing that with someone else is really just, because you, as a wife, right,
Yes.
you want your husband to have connectivity outside of you, right? You don't
Absolutely.
want to be the end all and be all, everything that they are, because we just don't have the capacity for that. But to see them grow and have relationships with other strong men
That's
and
what I was
other
gonna
black
say.
men who
Exactly.
love God and have like-mindedness, it's just something very beautiful. So
That's
I
right.
appreciate.
I do remember that.
I know.
And that was interesting.
Yeah. And really, we was talking about, if I remember correctly, we was talking about what we finna do next. We was like, man, listen, bro, we need to link up. When we get up out of here, we need to go get something to eat or something. You know what I mean? I do remember that day. I don't remember all what we talked about, but I do remember that. For me, though, like meeting the Walkers is like, I remember going home one day and I was like, you know what, honey? I think these gonna be our people. You know what I mean?
And that's I definitely.
I said I think these gonna be our people. And the same day y'all came over and you shared some some insight about our relationship and all those things like that. But you calling to say that y'all want to come over and have that conversation was the same day I told her I think these are our people, and that just kind of confirmed it. What we already knew anyway.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Because we've never had people either.
Right,
And so that's
right.
something that we had to learn how to do, because we came from a place that people just wanted to take from us. People just wanted to, what can Billy and Tera do for us? And once we learned, again, relational intelligence, that those were the people that we were around, we put protective walls around ourselves. And so finding someone, you guys, who didn't want anything from us, just a relationship, was like mind blowing. I didn't like immediately understand. I'm like, okay, so what does this look like? What does this feel like? How do I, because me, I'm not I shared with him a couple months ago, I'm not a pursuer. So I don't know how
Right.
to build something
To
with some
cultivate
right.
that,
You know what I mean?
yes.
And so I was like, man, how do I show them that I love them? How do I show them that I'm thinking of them? How do I show them that I appreciate them? And so it's just been a learning process to even have people, because when you have good people, you want to
don't
take
wanna
care
lose
of
them.
them and
Yep.
protect them, and you don't want to
Yeah.
lose them. I mean, I cut somebody for the Walkers, and I mean,
Okay.
I cut a lot of people, but for y'all, I'll do some
Yeah.
damage.
So
This is not an admission of guilt in any way, shape, or
Keep
form.
it cutting to
Do
a
not have
minimum.
any felonies
Wow.
or
ain't got no
warrants.
evidence, so you know can't do
Come
that.
on now.
No
We're going to have to
evidence.
make this one PG-13. It's got to be PG-13.
So for me, like I say, when Lonnie being serious about his family and being serious
For
about his
sure.
wife, that blessed my heart, and I've learned a lot from you about that, because I'm just as serious about my wife and family.
Right.
But you've helped me take that to the next level. You know what I mean? So as a big brother, as a bro, as bad boy for life, you know what I mean? That's been my experience, and seeing how serious you are about your wife. Again, not like controlling or domineering, but you want what's best for her at all times in every setting, and allowing me to be a part of y'all's life lets me know how you feel about us, because I know you wouldn't let anything around her if it ain't the best and if she ain't safe. You know what I mean? So now I'm like, okay, I gotta take just as seriously my position and role and being in connection to my sister and to my brother. You know what I mean? So I need to learn more about how he protects her, because just so happen I need to be able to protect her the same way. You know what I'm saying? If I'm standing by your side, or if you went around the corner real quick, I'm looking at her like I'm watching, like Lonnie watching. You know what I mean? Because what's important to you is important to me. You know what I mean? So that's how we connect. You know what I'm saying? That's how we, and then it's growing even more, even around it. So, you know, we could take this whole episode just talking about our
our love
bond.
for
You know what I'm saying?
I
But
can chill
those are just a few words that I
Oh,
can
stop
muster up in
it.
that moment. You know,
And we love your kids. I'm like, they're our nieces and nephews.
them kids,
Like, for real.
they be trying to tell on us low key when y'all come over there.
Oh, I know.
They be putting the
I
short
know
list
they
out
do.
there so y'all can see.
Yeah.
So
What is
They're
going on?
informing us of all the abuse.
That's
they be
right.
trying to
Say
tell.
something.
But speaking of your kids, you guys were young parents, right?
Very young parents.
Very young
Absolutely.
parents. That comes with a lot of
Exciting
a lot of
activities.
interesting situations, right?
So let's see.
Tell us something about that, yeah.
Okay. So basically, right after we fell into lust with one another.
I was already.
Yeah. So at 20, we had our first daughter. At 21, we had.
He
Sanaya.
was a 19.
She came out of me at 20.
No, the doctor. I can see the paperwork. It
19?
said 19-year-old prima gravida.
I remember
it's a
that.
medical term.
I was 19 when my first daughter came out of me, 20 when my second daughter came out of me, 21 when our third daughter came out of me,
Conveyor belt.
22 when our fourth child came out of us, and 25 when we had Bill.
Oh my gosh.
And so, mind you, this is us. This is two people coming together who
Straight out of high school.
First
year of college.
First year college.
Trying to establish careers, trying to establish income,
Man.
savings, finances, a home. But now we got
all
5
that
kids.
good stuff, trying to bring them to school with us because we didn't let people watch our kids, including
Right.
our parents. That was just something we didn't want to do. Like, hey, we had these kids
They've been
and
in
we're going
college
to
since they was
raise them.
2.
Yeah, they've been in college since they were 2. So I think once we finally got to baby number 3 and we were bringing all 3 of them to school with us, they were like, okay, y'all. We
So wait a
appreciate
minute.
what y'all were trying to do.
Y'all are in college.
in college.
Y'all had 3 kids.
3
Yep.
And y'all are bringing the kids with you to
class.
class.
Yep.
to class.
So
How
there
did
was some,
that work?
so there were some classes where we had together. So we would sit, of course you want to get far back in the
Right,
class.
right.
So we would get to the back, try to feed the baby before class, make sure they're changed
Oh my
up,
gosh.
make sure the kids.
Yeah.
So we would get far
Y'all
back.
were thugging that out.
We
Or
were thugging.
or we would alternate classes. Like she would take the 7 o'clock class and I would sit out there with the kids. And then when she come out of class, she would watch the kids and I would go into the 8 o'clock class.
Wow.
So we was doing it like that.
How long did y'all do that?
Man.
Because it started with Sanaya. So y'all are in college, so y'all brought Sanaya.
Brought Sanaya.
And then you brought Alea.
So
So
for
Sanaya, she was
Leia,
actually pregnant with Sanaya in the water aerobics class.
oh
Remember?
gosh.
Not-
Don't tell the water
not
aerobics
water
class.
The problem I have with water
Ah.
aerobics is they gave her an A+ when she did the swim test.
Can't swim.
And she can't swim. She was pregnant, and I came and got her from the middle of the
I hit
pool
the boogie board and I was like,
and
hey.
helped her swim across the pool. I got an A, she got an A+, literally. And I was like, how they give you the A+?
Because I was cute.
And you were pregnant.
And pregnant.
And
Cute and
Come
pregnant.
on.
You
And I
and
was
you
on
almost
record.
lost your life, and they didn't
Right?
want that liability.
Right? Because
A
I could have
plus.
sued. You
That's
like that?
correct. They shouldn't have had you out there.
But I think once we did that for about 3 years. But we actually, it was so funny because Alea, all of our children were premature.
Oh, wow.
So we were basically in labor during midterms. And so we ended up having, the day after she was released from the hospital, we took them back to school to take all our midterms. It was just a mess, y'all. We were trying
Wow.
our best to raise our family, protect our family, and still be responsible adults at the same time. And it was really hard to not have the support system. I think if we would have had a better support system around us, if we would have known y'all for sure, we would have been able to get done with school a lot faster. But it was just a learning process, so we took a break
Yeah.
from school for a while until,
Yeah.
man,
So
I think a break, was it like a 15-year
man,
break?
it's a long break. Like we graduated
Huge
college
break.
So before y'all move on from that, I want to tell y'all what determination. Y'all were not going to fail. Y'all were so tenacious. The thought of the struggle that people are having that have children, young children at home, and they're trying to work,
Yeah.
for y'all to even think of, listen, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take these kids, 3 kids, because my wife had 3 kids in 5 years. You went 5 for 5. That's really different.
We didn't have cable.
But it's okay. But what I'm saying is, you had 3 children, little infant children, while you both are trying to go through college, that y'all had to work for. I was like, how are we going to do this? We're just going to bring all these kids, and we're going to just alternate classes. Because y'all was like, we got to get this done. We got to figure this out.
And can I ask, did you guys have jobs as well?
We did.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, add that into the story.
We did.
I ain't even got to the job, because
Oh
they
my
got to have
gosh.
jobs. They got to feed the babies.
Yeah.
But just the work ethic and the mindset of, hey, we got to get this done. We got to figure this out by any means necessary, which y'all still carry that now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amen.
Y'all have the determination, like, okay, we got to do this. We're going to sit down. We're going to map this thing out. I would have never thought 3 kids, we're going to alternate college. Be like, look, one of us going to go to school. The other person going to take care of the baby.
Yeah.
Not doing it, because you got to remember just the look of that. So where y'all showed up, y'all got the baby in class or the baby's in the hallway, and you know how babies can be.
Absolutely.
They are going to cry. They're going to poop. They're going to spit up. They're going to all of that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking back, I think I'm like, we
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
that would have been a great idea to do one at a time, but I think we were just so like,
I think it's
we're
the
gonna
idea
do
of,
this because we're Billy and Tara, and
Yeah.
we
it's
just
the determination, and it's also the building up of one another. Like I didn't want to. I go to school,
Leave her
and you
behind.
seem left behind. Or
Right.
you go to school, and then I be, I guess not able to match your level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we tried to make sure we both kept up with everything we wanted to do. And I do think societal pressure was part of it, because it's like
sure.
high school then college, And then it was like, oh, they got a baby. So most of the time when people have a baby too soon,
Right.
like go downhill. So we like, okay, that ain't finna
it's
be
not
us.
right.
You know what I
We
mean?
did not want to be a
So,
statistic for sure.
But working was crazy. I mean, I did anything.
My God, hold up, wait. I think one thing,
Not
something that
anything
helped,
illegal, but
right? I think something that helped is because we had it was like a huge shift, really, really fast. So we went from
Yes.
meeting each other and falling completely in love and being together all the time, and doing absolutely nothing with no responsibilities, going to work on the weekends. And so we didn't have, so all we did was learn each other in the first 9 months
Yeah.
of our relationship. And so it was like a concentrated time spent together. And so I think that kind of put us in the mindset, because we didn't really do a lot of surface level information between each other. We really got to know each other, and we really got to learn each other's experiences really quickly. And while I'm speaking, I'm reflecting. I'm like, man, we're only 18 and 19 years old. Like, where in the world? So, glory to God, but thankful for our parents too. They did what they could with what they had, but it put something in us that allowed us to create a bond really fast, to where we felt like, man, we can do anything. this is what we want for our life. And so I think that helped us to be tenacious to a degree. You know, I think once the teachers were like, hey man, y'all, this is enough. That's I think when we
Wow.
kind of got discouraged, because like we're doing this, we're doing it, you know. But I think we kind of got discouraged, you know, once that happened. But the working, like he was getting ready to go into it, that was a whole nother thing. So I think when we met, I was working at Chuck E. Cheese.
He was working at Chuck E. Cheese. I worked at the mall
I
making
love Chuck E.
smoothies
Cheese.
for thirsties. So
we still go to Chuck E. Cheese. He proposed to me at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, I went
Chuck E.
back
Cheese is a
there
big part of our life.
for nostalgia to propose to her at Chuck E. Cheese because that's where we met, and that's where I heard audibly that she was the one. So I was like, this is gonna mean something to us. I know it looked silly at Chuck E. Cheese.
It definitely
to most
meant
people,
something.
but it meant something to us. So she worked at Chuck E. Cheese. I worked at the mall. I would come and get to play video games for free all day because she would just give me a couple tokens. I would bring her food and drink from Thirsty, smoothies and sandwiches and all that. Then I went from working at the mall to going to barber college, being a barber, working in warehouses, doing just so many different
this
jobs.
Man, he's been a bounty hunter.
Are you serious, B?
Bounty hunter.
Lies and deception.
You catch somebody?
No,
Bounty hunter,
hopping
yes.
fences, freeze. I was bad boy for real.
Yeah.
We used to go
I'm gonna
fight.
tell you about
It's
the one
just
person.
so much stuff.
I'm gonna tell you one story. It's a bunch of bounty
Please tell a
stories.
story.
Bunch of bounty
Please.
hunters. It's dangerous and it's real. Number one.
Right.
So that's why I didn't stick with it because I was like, okay, you can only touch the fire so many times before you get burnt. And I was like, I ain't trying to have her get no phone
A
call.
little nervous.
So I went to the front door, knocked on the door, and you have to say who you're looking for, or else we get caught with trespassing.
Okay.
So I said the name of the person I was looking for, but he was listening in the back, and he sent somebody else to the door. He heard his name. I heard a bunch of noise. Boom, 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 boom. Because he was running out the back of the house. So at that point, if he runs, we can chase. So I go chase through the house. Dangerous because I don't know what's in the house, right?
Oh my gosh.
So run through the house. He out the back door. So I had to go back out the front, and I tell him, and the people waiting around for him to come out the back. He go out the back, hop the gate. I don't know where he went after that. So I come back around. It's dark. It's trees. This is at night. Somewhere off of 1960. He runs to a church. And all I hear is, because I'm running up over there, the church security
Oh my
and him
gosh.
got to shooting at each other. So we got over there. We wrestled him down, put the cuffs on him, and put him into the back of a little 2-seater Cadillac and drove him downtown, got our bounty, and went home for the
How
night.
much was that bounty? For?
So it depends
Not
on
enough.
Depends on it.
Not for no
That was
bullet
the
shots.
last one. We
The-
said we're not doing that
Yeah,
no more.
it depends on how much the bail is that they break. He
Mhm.
had broke bail, so if his bail is like, let's just say his bail is 5,000, and we got 4 people hunting him, we're gonna split that 5,000 when we catch him.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? But his wasn't that big. It was, I think his was like 1,500, and it was 3 of us, so we all got 500 for catching him.
Baby.
So and that was on a nightly or daily basis. So
Wow.
but,
Nightly?
man, it's
So
Yeah, it was
Daily?
I want to talk about just when y'all 18, 19 years old
yeah,
and how much y'all were committed to each other
yeah,
and how you were committed to her, that you ain't want her to be left behind. She was committed to you, and how y'all strategically, unselfishly for one another, y'all looked after each other young in a relationship, because y'all only 9 to 10 years, not 9, 10 years, 9 months to a year and a half into marriage,
yeah.
and y'all already were laying down a foundation for y'all marriage at that time,
Yeah.
at that young age. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
So I think again, just glory to God, because now we're sitting with, bachelors and, and masters and degrees and things like that. But then it was hard,
Yeah.
because you have no amount of money, unless you're making well into 6 figures, is going to help you to take care of a family of 7. It's just the math don't math. So working at Chuck E. Cheese, working at, bounty hunting, even being a barber, all of that, it just wasn't working. So we were hustling, big time hustling. And so what was funny, it worked out for our good, because most marriages, have problems because of communication, sex, and money, right? So we ain't never have any money, so that was never an issue for us. We're like,
This is
hey,
normal.
whatever,
This is
this is what it
normal.
is. And so we really learned early, whatever I have, you have. Whatever you have, I have. And whatever we got is what we have. And that's what we're going to make it with. And so we learned a whole lot of pivoting. We learned a whole lot of creativity. We learned a whole lot of endurance, and how to look at things from a different lens outside of what we don't have versus what we do have. Now, I will say dealing with poverty is hard on any relationship. It's hard.
sure.
It causes extra stress. It causes extra grief. It causes extra insecurity, wondering where you're going to get food from, wondering how you're going to celebrate different kids' birthdays, But like I said, it helped us to be creative. It helped us to find, okay, we know we could stay here and focus on all the stuff that we don't have. We can stay here and focus on how many problems we have. We can stay here and focus on how many people who are not helping us, right? But what we did instead was, okay, what can we do to make this work for us? And talking to our kids, we ask them all the time, like, how do y'all feel now that we're where we are? And they're like, Mom, this is our oldest. She's like, Mom, to be honest, we never felt like less than anybody. We never felt like we were missing a whole lot because we made it a point to provide them things and experiences. Like, even though it took us a long time, like, hey, okay, we're gonna go to Disney in 3 years. This is how we're gonna get there. And so they had experiences and they had things, and the love that we had in our family, I think, really helped to undergird a lot of what they could have experienced. I think people experience trauma in different ways and they process trauma in different ways depending on what it is. But I think being in a 2-parent household with the mom and the dad who love each other and who are caring and who are intentional, I think that really helped to cut away a lot of what the enemy could have used to, like, hurt their self-esteem and their confidence and things like that. So
we learned to look at, not to cut you off, look at poverty 2 ways: the actual physical, tangible realm of poverty, and then in your mind,
a spiritual poverty.
Right.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
when you experience it and then you come out of it, if you still have the mindset, you're just gonna carry it over into your new life. You know
That's
what I mean?
Right.
And so we had to address both sides of it. We had to find careers and jobs and income that supported the level of lifestyle we wanted in family. And we had to also, once we got to that level, start to unpack the experiences or the habits that we had while being in poverty and the dependency, because we had state insurance and we had state benefits, so we learned to depend on those and count that into our budget. Well, when you hit a certain income bracket, state be like, hey,
you don't qualify anymore.
So now we have to really say, okay, well, how much does it cost? How much does insurance cost? And how much is groceries rather than state benefits of them providing the monthly food allowances, And so we have to get out of those habits. We have to look at our, reassess what our confidence was in our own abilities to be able to provide for it without state assistance and things like that. Then we had to, we talk with our kids. How do y'all feel? How does this look to y'all? What's the difference between living in this apartment and living in a house? Did you feel embarrassed, or do you, you know what I'm saying? And so we talk to them about those type of things and their experiences and their perspectives, because we talk about looking back at our childhood and saying, man, I wish, or I felt like this. I felt one way when everybody thought or imagined I felt another way. So we had to get it from them.
Right.
We had to hear from them to know what they really felt. And then hearing their feelings, we can be able to help their habits and their mindsets and their thoughts and their heart, And so there was some creative ways to, live and exist when you are in either mental and a mindset of poverty, or if you're in the actual physical realm of poverty, your communities, you know what I mean, what you're seeing on a daily basis, certain types of stores and, certain types of development of land versus not having that development, I'm saying, nicer neighborhoods versus not, you know what I'm saying, things like that, So just going through saving up for school shopping, you know what I mean? Of course, everybody has a budget for it, but when you are 18 and 19, you got to start saving, at the end of the school year to get ready for the next school year. And then you got to say, hey, we're going to get a little bit here and a little bit there, and now not going to get that Nike backpack. We're just going to get the Jansport. You know what I mean? Even though Jansport and Nike, though,
Jansport is a
be the
good
same
quality.
price.
Those backpacks
But
are
still,
$45.
for a kid to see a
No,
Nike
we talking
backpack.
about the psych. Not
Psyche,
tonight.
psyche.
Not the
So,
sight.
just going through those processes, man, and making sure the kids still felt whole and
Right.
at peace with themselves, and then not be in denial. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we did have a certain level of lifestyle and we were having to improve it. You know what I'm saying? And then getting to the point where you finally can is a blessing, but then you still
Right.
have to deal with the mental side of it,
Yeah.
so
How
it was,
long did that transition take? Because that's true. You will take if you've gone through a certain trauma,
yeah.
no matter if you're released from that situation
Hmm.
mentally,
Mhm.
sometimes you'll stay in that.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to shift? Is it still a process now?
Yeah.
It just depends on the day and what the
Yeah,
situation is, right? Because
that's good.
context is everything. And
Mhm.
so I think for all of us, I just told him, I think it was yesterday, and I was like, man, we know exactly right now what we're supposed to be doing to further our life. Like, you know what I mean? We all have a list of goals, and looking back over the years and we write goals, if they start to be the same thing over and over again, the problem is not the goal, the problem is the habits that we have, right?
Yep.
Right.
And so I think if we're intentional and we sit down to really evaluate what the habits are, and we're truthful on the inside of us, like, is this really conducive to what I want to see tomorrow? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so I think once we decided to do that, I think the transition went a lot faster, right? So initially, once you make the initial transition from, because it was kind of like night and day again. So we went from having a whole lot of nothing to a whole lot of something.
Right.
It was like crazy. Like one day we went to sleep, the next day we woke up in our house and woke up with degrees. And so it was
Yeah.
just kind of crazy to shift back into something that we knew we were supposed to be in the first place, right? But to be able to shift our kids out was something completely different. So I would say the transition took about 2 years for us to finally be like, this is not where we are anymore, everybody. Guys, focus.
Yeah.
When we were in here,
Yeah.
this is what we had to do, right? Now we're here, this is what we get to do. So little by little, we started to chip away at some of the negative habits and some of the poor habits, even with our speech. I know with you guys, that was one of the things. I know for sure for me, y'all bless me so much because no one's ever loved me enough to correct me, right? Not that, but in who I am today.
I would think that some of the cases that would be the case. We have people around us
Yeah,
that would
that was
love
just
us, but they wouldn't love us enough to be like, hey, don't do that.
right.
So
And
in a sense, it kind of was that.
it's so I just really appreciate that because it did start to make me more mindful of my mouth and more mindful of what I was saying and what others would hear me saying, what my kids would hear me say. And so I think first getting the information to ourselves, hey, the shift has happened. And then being able for you guys to enter into our story along the same alignment was just a big amalgamation of,
Okay.
you like that?
I like that.
You like that?
What book you been
Well,
reading?
you know.
I don't know how to spell that.
It's okay. Me either.
Me neither.
Me either. If you know how to say it, you don't have to know how to spell it. So I think all of it together was just really helpful and really just perfect timing to be able to say, all right, guys, this is what it is. This is what we can do next. And so I think just the transition took about 2 years. And I think we have really good kids,
You
like
do. You
our
guys
kids
do.
trust us, like it's different. Like they're typical teenagers to say that they are kind. I mean, they have their different ideas and like, hey, we think we know everything. They have that sometimes, right? But then when it comes to when we sit down at the table, because at the table is where we have our family discussion. So we eat and we talk like, hey, what's going on with you? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? So I think coming to the table to say, hey guys, this is where we need to shift to now. They're on board. You know what I mean? They're not like, I ain't gonna do that. They don't give us a lot. They trust us. Like even one of our daughters, like, we asked them like, why is her honor higher than your honor? And then she'll respond and say, well, because everything that you ever told me has worked out for my good. So when you tell me something, I'm going to believe you. And her testimony affected the rest of them. So now everybody's like, hey, what should we do? And so I think just having cooperation in the house, you know what I mean, between parents and children really helped to move things in the way that they should be going.
Yeah. I think another part to answer that question about how long it took, she graduated high school in 2003. I graduated in 2002. You got her first degree in 2020. I got mine in 2021. Physical, tangible time. It took us 17 in 18 years to get those first degrees while we was having the 5 kids,
Right.
balancing all the jobs, keeping the roof over our head, trying to keep
Heavily involved
transportation,
in ministry.
ministry,
Yes.
you know, so
Man,
17
that's a
years of
whole
that.
nother situation.
So 17 years of that. But then once we got a degree and our eligibility for certain jobs came up, and then we got into education, and that almost doubled and tripled our income bracket.
Mhm.
That happened instantly. Then we spent a year buying a house, but then when we moved in, it was like an instant thing. You know what I'm saying? So like you were saying, you got the degree now, you got the job, and then you got the house, and those are all instant changes. You go in there, but you still have all the wear from the 17
Residue.
years.
That's good.
And I do think it took about 2 years for us to settle into and start cleaning off
Yes.
the old way of living. You know what I mean? Start cleaning all that off and settling into our new mindset of what level we're living at. And then practically we had to start getting rid of things. You know what I mean? Like that somebody gave us when we needed it, let's throw it away. You know, we can stop looking at it so we can stop remembering that and stop thinking that. So we had to really get
That's good.
practical about some
Yeah.
things. And that helped actually speed up the time when you get those certain type of reminders out of your space, you know?
That's good.
So we know that y'all are like some generational curse breakers. We understand that because we know y'all pretty well in background. Just talk about how does that feel?
Yes.
How did the image that you are portraying for your children and other people, because your children is not the only witnesses to y'all greatness.
Yeah.
We know that y'all great anointed, but we tell y'all that all the time. But other people are watching you guys that y'all don't know, and they're like, hey, what they have in their marriage, I want that.
Yeah.
So just talk about a little bit the generational curses that you bring, the image that y'all are, the love and how y'all are showing Jesus in y'all marriage, and the mantle and the responsibility that y'all have with that.
Yeah. For me, it started off as fun, you know, and it still is fun. So let me explain it. It's fun when you be like, oh, got a new job. Oh, got a new house. Man, we got this new car. Oh, the bank account is filling up now. It was fun, right? And it still is fun. But then it's like, hey, who gonna cut that grass? You know what I mean? Hey, you gotta fill that tank up. You know what I mean? Hey, you gotta manage that money. Because we first got it, we was like, oh yeah, it was a fun part. You know, look, new house, new keys, you know, selfie, you know, posting, sharing, housewarming. That was all fun. You know, the celebration of it. You know, putting the furniture in, picking your paint on the walls. That was all the fun part. And then when it comes to the work, to maintain it and to realize it's a responsibility to manage it well and to steward it properly. And that's when, like you say, breaking those curses and carrying that mantle of being a generational curse breaker and being an example and showing like, okay, this is what it takes to live this certain type of a shifting in a lifestyle, you know, because it could be on any level. It could be on a 6-figure income, 7-figure income, multiple 6 figures. You know what I mean? It still is a mindset change on every level. So now, once you settle into it, after all the freshness and the newness of it, you be like, man, it also has a lot of responsibility because a lot of times I think that we have a vision and then there's a life plan that we have no idea about. And then when you say, oh, I just got started, so now I got to go find another level, you know what I mean? I'm like, dang.
It can feel daunting.
Yeah.
Right.
The fun goes away and it's like, oh, wow, this was just me setting the foundation. Now I got to build walls
Here we go to
and
climb.
levels
Right.
and stairs
That's
and
right.
elevate. And I'm like, okay. So do we really want to be generational curse breakers? And so then you get to that question, do you want to be it or not? And then, of course, saying no to something that you're supposed to be
That you're
is-
called to do.
is not an option.
Something that it's not a choice, bro.
It's definitely
Yeah.
not a choice.
He has set you up
Yeah.
to break this.
Absolutely.
And so that's the daunting part. That's the part where it starts to
The
be
responsibility.
like, it's going to start to be weighted. You know what I
Yes,
mean? And so for
yes.
the people who want our marriage, like, it's lovely, it's beautiful, but
Be careful.
I
What you
do
ask.
talk
That's right.
her ear off.
Mhm.
We know, B. We
And
know.
Lonnie be like, say, bro,
Lonnie be trying
you
to help
gotta
us
wait,
Yes,
decide,
he
bro. You gotta
does.
wait.
Give us some
And Tari be like,
time,
B,
bro.
don't bring it back up. And I be like, just one more question.
Help him, please.
One more
Help him.
question.
Help
Do you
him.
remember we showed up at that basketball game
Oh,
just
man.
like we got
Like, the
y'all know-
Lord
signal,
is
the
mindful
back
of me.
signal.
Mute challenge, Billy. Mute
Y'all,
challenge.
y'all, and that made her be able to laugh. It made me be able to calm down. You know what I'm saying? And then we still was able to have the conversation later.
Right.
But
Because he
that's
brought
the
it back
kind
up.
of accountability. I didn't bring it back up.
Okay, go ahead.
But so here's something that's ironic. One of my favorite songs is 21 Questions.
It
And I said,
is.
how that's gonna be our favorite song?
That
And you
song.
won't ask me, ask you one question.
Everybody, that song is by Kurt Franklin. 21 Questions, Kurt Franklin. Look that up.
Listen, man, but for me, I mean, we know to be the first ones to do anything is always going to be challenging.
Yeah. And we both older siblings, so we experienced
Oh
that
my
a lot.
God.
being the
Yeah.
first.
So it's hard to, it was difficult to navigate those waters. It was difficult because there's no manual for it. You know, our parents hadn't experienced it. People around us hadn't experienced it. Like, and this is going into home ownership. This is going into even marriage and longevity in marriage. This is going into degrees. This is going into a lot of stuff. We're outside of us. I think our grandparents both had a bunch of children, you know, so it wasn't really a whole lot laid out for us that we saw. So we had to really go, like, the amount of parenting books we had was bananas, you know, that we were really reading and like, okay, let's make sure we do this. It was just being the first to do it is hard. And so to be able to look back and reflect on all that we have done without an example, without support, without guidance is like, we know God is with us. We know if nothing else, you know, we're gonna be okay with whatever
right.
whatever the portion is, whatever he puts in our plate, in our past, is gonna work together for our good because it's worked so far. So just being able to do that, being able to be a pillar of love, you know, I think sometimes when people see us, they do say, hey, we want to have that. But it takes work. You know, it's a
Absolutely.
decision to do it. I think many people have this lofty idea that marriage is just full of emotions, but it's not. If you're smart, it's not full of emotions, to be quite honest. It's love and passion, yes. But if you're being directed by your emotions, of course, that's half the battle and you're already hurting yourself. But I think once we decided, hey, man, once we truly made divorce not an option for our marriage, I think that's when we got to be fully enveloped in one another, you know, because for me, I'm going to be honest, divorce was an option all the way up until about year 15, 16, because I'm like, the way that one of my favorite shirts.
I know what you're gonna say.
One of my favorite
Her favorite shirt is worse than the song.
My favorite shirt is definitely worse than the song. So my people weren't saved, right? And so we did whatever. We were drinking wine coolers at 7. And we was in there. But my favorite shirt was I'm too old for this SH. The rest of it, right? PG, right, Lonnie?
13. Yes.
Yeah. So I grew up with that mindset. I grew up with I don't have to deal with anything that I don't have to deal with. Like, this is bananas. I'm not finna go through this, or I'm not finna go through that, or I can do something better than this. That's how, period, poo. That's what my mindset was, which is horrible for a marriage. It's terrible and it's detrimental and it's so foolish to think that divorce should be an option. Like, outside of abuse, right?
There's rhymes and reasons.
There's definitely context to it. But I think once we really made a decision that, hey, no matter what we deal with, no matter what we face, we're in this together. I think once we really did that, I think that's when we started to see the newness of our marriage come into fruition. And that's all we know, that God is the center of our marriage.
Absolutely.
And we know that we ultimately want to make him proud. So if I'm saying something or thinking something or about to do something that I know God's gonna be like, Tera, why you do that? I try not to do those things. Yeah. I'm not perfect, but I try not to do those things so I don't have to apologize for it later.
Right.
We know that every time you die to self and sacrifice, Your marriage is going to be elevated. One of the things that I've shared is I feel like I'm falling in love with LaToya more every year. Like I think the cup is full. It can't get any higher.
Yeah.
And then the Lord will just a space will open. I'll be like, ooh.
Yeah.
I look a little bit more.
like that.
I'm like, ooh. And just like y'all, as y'all consider each other, every year it's just gonna grow. And it's just going to grow, and it's just going to grow. And it just takes it to another level. Just like the poverty month. I remember when I thought $100 was a lot of money.
Yeah.
I remember when I thought $100,000 was a lot of money. Now it's like $1 million isn't a lot of money.
It's not.
So it's just going to go. But what you have to do is don't see it as pressure. You see it as the Lord showing you favor and blessing you. And you don't have to reach a goal that someone else. All you have to do is reach where you're supposed to.
That's right.
Yep. I like that.
So let's
right.
ask a fun question.
Some cutesy questions, some fun questions.
Yeah.
Y'all ready?
Let's
This
go.
is supposed to be like a fire response.
Like, don't fall into the well, B.
No, I got you, bro. You ain't gonna follow well. I'm gonna be like, pause.
Got it.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Okay, can you share a memorable moment from your early days together? Like something that stands out, funny thing, a crazy
go
thing.
You can go.
Okay. Something funny. I remember her first car. And
Oh my
her first car, which I wrecked.
He definitely wrecked my car. Okay,
And it had birds in it.
disclaimer.
That's what we used to say about the car.
So let me tell you.
You had birds living
my
in your
first
car?
and I was
Yeah.
grateful and appreciative of my father
1991 Sentra.
giving me my 1991 Sentra with the rusted out bottom.
Flintstones.
Flintstones for
Baby.
sure. And every time you started to go like a bunch of birds trying to escape. It's okay. When he got in, I was like, hey, don't worry, I got birds in my car, And so, it's fine. But yeah, he wrecked my car because he not borrowed, but we went again, whatever we had was ours. So my car turned into our car. So he drove to work and he dropped me off at work and then he went to work, but it was raining really, really bad. And this is like the first 3 or 4 months of our relationship.
Yeah.
And the car spun out of control.
Oh,
He
my
came through the
goodness.
windshield. His head did at least.
Oh,
if
my
you look
Wow.
at it, that's a
So
You ain't got
feel
your seatbelt
sorry
button?
for
So-
the windshield.
no,
Okay.
back in the day, I used to wear a lot of stuff on my head. So on that particular day, I had like a t-shirt folded over and I tied it around my head, kind of like Arabian style. And so when I did hit the window, that's what stopped me from getting scratches and
In the
scars.
name
wow.
of Jesus.
I think I had it in my seatbelt, but I hit a puddle of water basically.
Oh,
and
wow.
it spun
Plane.
me.
Wow.
Right. And so
I wrecked
basically
her
we
car.
went to call mom, like, Mom, we gotta go pick up Billy. He just had a car accident. So we went to pick him up.
Oh, you
And I
said
had
your mama.
oh my God, that's another one.
No, go ahead.
So I had all of my graduation
Graduation stuff.
stuff in the car. So my cap and gown, like y'all, I was super nerdy, right? So I had like my stole and all my cords, like all of my cords, and even my graduation pictures. And then he was like, "You want your stuff out the trunk?" I was like, "No, I just want you," right? And so I left all my stuff. I know I should have got all my stuff in hindsight, anyways. But that's one story.
No, the funny one is
Funny story.
when we went on our first date.
Mind you, I wear glasses and I cannot see. So my mom drove me
To come pick
with
me
her
up.
boyfriend at the time to go pick him up.
So you can't see us right now?
I can see. I have on contacts. I came up. I didn't came up.
Shady,
I
shady.
came up. So we're driving up, and my mom's driving. And this is my.
I
my
wanna
mom's
say it.
driving.
I want to say her part.
You weren't even in the
But
car.
you told me what she said.
Go ahead, Tara.
So thank you, brother Lonnie. She's just like, oh my God, because he was standing outside with his friends.
I had the
She was
FUBU
like,
jersey on.
oh my
I
God,
had the
oh my
earrings.
God,
I had the chain hanging.
oh my God,
I had
Tara.
that-
Trying to look like Nelly.
I had the
Yes.
I had the-
He had everything
do-rag,
except the Band-Aid.
the headband. I had the hat on backwards. The Air Force One.
Stop.
And she was like,
Stop.
please say that's not him.
My
Please say that's
mom
not
was
him. Please say that's not him.
freaking. She was freaking out in there. Okay, she was like, "Oh my God!" Because mind you, the guy I was dating before was a little skinny, little shrimp guy, real clean cut. None of that.
Here you bring this
And then I bring this thug here,
You know what I'm saying?
and she's like, "Tara, please, oh
She
my
trying
God,
to get a bad
please,
boy for
Tara,
life.
please say it's not the
She's like,
one."
"Don't even
she
look."
said, "Please say it's not the one in the all white." I said, "Yep, this the one in the all white, baby." And she was just like, "Oh my God!" He walks to the car, and she's
And
like,
she said, take them earrings
"Take them
off."
earrings off."
And I said,
and he took
and I
them
took them
off.
off because
It was so sweet and respectful. He's never done anything like that again in his life.
What I wore was not. What I wore was just what I wore. That wasn't my mind and my heart.
It was the style.
Yeah, it was the style. My mom really taught us to be very respectful. I always say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am.
He is respectful.
Very respectful. So she told me to take them off. I took them off. But now that we got a relationship,
yeah,
I'd be like, if you don't, Gloria,
for sure, for sure.
Well, one of the interesting things that my wife and you have in common is that if somebody put on some music, y'all out of there. Y'all dancing machines.
Listen, I don't know what else to tell you after that, brother. It is what it is. It was what it was. If the music come on and we know the lyrics, which we will know the lyrics.
Yeah.
We gon'
judge your mama. That's what I tell them. That's what I tell them. Like, you're crazy. You ain't supposed to know you judge your mama.
Thank you.
Don't mind your business. I am delivered from people.
Listen, we were at something a couple months ago, and Usher came on.
Hey.
What's that Usher song when he talking about Bad Girl?
Oh, yeah.
Working man.
Okay,
We don't have the right.
Come on, First Lady.
Come on, First Lady.
What y'all don't know about Toya is she's a gangster.
I am a little gangster.
Toya is a gangster. Toya is a gangster. She know Taekwondo.
I don't.
No, she's a dancing machine. She know the song. She love music. And that's something that y'all really have in common.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's our relationship. We really appreciate y'all as a couple. We appreciate the relationship, the communication, the check-ins. It's amazing that we met y'all, how we met y'all. We're glad that we had y'all in our lives. Like I said, we can sit on here and talk 2-3 hours about different things. But what do you want to say in closing, babe?
I'm getting emotional.
Do it.
Tissue.
You feel it?
Which is a bad move.
You got it.
I just, you know how much I love y'all.
Yeah.
And I know that this is an ordained connection. Mm-hmm. And something that we told you guys when we first met, that we feel called to you. And we are here for you for whatever you need, whatever you want. Y'all are brother and sister, and that is just what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have it together. Okay.
Yeah.
But we love y'all. We're so excited to see what God does for y'all. That's what we say all the time. We're so excited. We're just happy to be a small piece of y'all's journey. So, having said that, check out Right Marriages when it comes out, you guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want y'all to drop y'all Instagram, whatever y'all want to drop.
Tell right now. Plug.
So at Right Marriages on Instagram, and that's where you're gonna find out information about when the book is dropping, when we're going live with the podcast, and our personal Instagrams. I'm at Mr. Billy L. Johnson.
I think that's where you're at.
I think it is, or is it Billy Johnson or Billy L. Johnson? I know for sure you're at.
They can find it if they look for your face.
You can say yours too.
Miss Tera L. Johnson at Instagram. And let's just grow in marriage together. I think when we all get together with like-minded marriages, we have a community and we can grow. You do not have to do marriage by yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do. We want to do marriage with you guys.
Y'all keep up with us, man. And the book is coming. The podcast is coming.
The conference coming too.
The conference is coming.
Lord.
So, y'all, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be
I hope
bananas.
we get to come for free.
Y'all definitely get to come for free.
Well, we appreciate y'all coming on the Way of the Walkers. Y'all know where to find us.
And we're out, you guys.
We see y'all next week.
Yeah, bye. If you find out Way of the Walkers brings any kind of value to your life, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification button. And we'll see you next time.
We'll build this together. Any type of weather. Unity is key. Keeping first G-O-D. We will conquer the world. Baby, just you and me. I can vision us now. One big happy family.